personnel issues and collective bargaining issues. And so we're about 12 minutes late. Does anybody have any other preliminary announcements?
I do, Mr. Lloyd.
The chair recognizes Mr. Ballas.
Thank you, sir. Okay, this is something that's been in the works for over a year now. It started early last year, then with the problems we had last year, and there was a few other issues. About a week ago, I got called by Mr. Joe Dukar. Yeah, he wanted to have a meeting, sit-down meeting, talk about some stuff. He told me what it was and if I should get anybody else, and I told him, Rob is this chair of the Recreation Committee, should be involved in this also. Now, like I said, it started over a year ago. As you all know, Mr. Dukar, he is the president of the Campbell Foundation. Okay, now, the Campbell Foundation and the Batch Foundation, they want to totally renovate Westfield.
Great.
They're talking total renovation, bottom to top, lights, locker rooms, field, everything.
Turf field.
They are looking, at everything, and at no cost to the taxpayers. This is all going to be through the foundations. So, what they're looking for is something from us, because they want to do this on their own. If we do it, there's hoops that we have to jump through. They want to be able to go out and get their own contractor, have, them do it, and the bill, we don't see the bills.
Okay, well then I think it's great, but I think what we would need is some type of letter of intent from them on what they intend to do, because we can't just blindly.
No. They asked if me and Rob would be the point man to come to the council with this and talk about it. We will get everything together. They were over the Batch Foundation last week one time. If you remember the presentation that they put on the Batch, you remember we were supposed to get money from Major League Baseball.
Well, there was drawings from Astorino. There was everything was set up what they were going to do, and we agreed to say, hey, whatever you have to do, it never happened.
It never happened, right?
Well, my concern is
this is going to happen.
This
is going to happen.
According to Mr. Dukar, Mr. Campbell is interested, and this is one of his things that he really wants to do, and this is on his list. That's things to do.
Yeah. And there was a stipulation. There was one second, Mayor. One stipulation was the high school. This field would be the home field for the high school. They would get priority whenever it comes to using the use of the field and playing their games and everything.
talking about football and everything.
No.
They got football.
This is going to be totally the baseball. They're going to put they want to paint a soccer field in the middle, but just for practices and stuff.
I have no problem.
Yeah,
We've already given them priority. Marky and I met with Steel Valley Baseball, and they have priority. The only time they didn't have priority is when they submitted their schedule 6 months late, and then they wanted to change all the dates.
One thing they would like in there that he said is long after everybody on this council and everybody in this room is gone, like a contract, a 50-year contract that Steel Valley Baseball that will be their field.
Yeah, they want the assurance. They would like the assurance that they would be able to.
They don't want to go year to year.
No, they don't want to go to year. They want a contract. This council will all be gone 20 years from now.
That's a small price to pay for what we're getting.
They still would get the rights to use that field for their home baseball games.
That's good. That's good.
Rob, we'll be able to see plans on what they're.
I did ask Joe. He had a plan on his laptop last week, and I asked him, "Can you get that?" And I said, "There's a recreation meeting next week. We have a council meeting next week. Can you get that for us for the recreation meeting?" And he said he could. So we'll stay on him to see if we can get a plan.
To have any say so.
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
They want our say so. Yeah, they want input from us.
Design or whatever they're gonna do.
Yes.
Of course.
Who has to maintain it?
Mayor, Mayor, do you?
I'm delighted to hear this because, this program should have been done. I'm completely delighted that Mr. Campbell and Charlie are interested. Now, the only thing is, a few years ago, they presented us with a plan. And I recall seeing that plan,
Let's go ahead.
plan, if council at that time,
$750,000.
it certainly wasn't, the type of, I mean, it was divided into a football field and a baseball field with bleachers in the middle and everything like that. And that's as far as it went.
They also plan on fixing our bleachers up too, according to the meeting
Well,
last week.
I'm looking for something modern.
It is.
A baseball, they're looking at
Don't
a,
present that
yes.
same plan, because to me, it was geared towards certain people.
right.
And, you know,
This is
I'm
geared
not looking
more-
for that, I'm looking for, you're
The
gonna do
plan that I'm
something.
seeing, Mayor,
Munhall's Field, you're gonna do
the
something.
plan
with
I'm
Munhall's
seeing is
Field.
more geared toward baseball than anything. But there will be room in the middle to have a soccer. If you wanna do a flag football thing, there was even brought up. If you wanna have the leagues there coming in on weekends and do flag football. And I think they would like to see still the track
That's
around
right.
there.
I have no objection.
A
I'm
practice
just saying.
track, nothing for
I
competition.
mean, you're not gonna have beats there, the track, I don't think they'll be meeting there, but I think they do want like a walking track, a running track around there, like you see in a lot of
That's
fields.
fine, let's see the plans.
And the plan
Oh,
actually
yeah,
had,
I'm
this is
delighted.
the first
Let's
step,
see
this
what
is the
they
first
want.
step.
the plan actually had an infield, the turf would not, there would be no dirt. The
Yeah.
infield would also be, I've seen them, I don't know how to describe it, but like a turf-like infield.
Right, Woodland Hills has that.
Woodland Hills has a, you know what I'm talking about, then, there
And
would
they
be no
just painted
dirt,
it, I guess.
they're not gonna have a dirt
But I've seen it,
infield.
it's almost like
It'll be round.
it's like a trout, it's like a trout on the
Yeah,
turf.
uh-huh.
Well,
I worked at that Miracle Field, and I worked at that.
Let's move ahead,
I
Mr. Chairman.
think that that's great news.
Right.
I know it's something that many of us up here
We've
wanted
tried.
to
Believe me.
fix
I know you
Westfield.
guys.
It's one of Rick's priorities, and it looked like we're not gonna have the money with taxpayer dollars to do what we need to do with the field as big and comprehensive as it is. It's great, yeah, have them send a letter of intent with some kind of a sketchy of a plan that we can start with, and I think council is gonna be all in.
Yeah,
So
the
we can
recreation
come
meeting
up
next
with a
Tuesday
plan.
should have, I invited Joe Dukar to come up and speak because he is the head of the Campbell Foundation to speak on this.
President of it.
President of the Campbell Foundation.
Well, Mr.
Speak on this
Dukar mentioned to
directly.
me the other night that something big was coming, that he just.
No, there's something else, he told us that too.
There's something
Something
bigger than
else.
somebody claims.
I don't know what that
He
is.
can't tell us that.
Okay,
I mean, one second, I heard from somebody in the audience about the maintenance of it.
Yeah.
From what he said, that we might even be able to, through the foundation, set up a fund to maintain the field for X amount of years, you know, till, I mean, because, you know, when you get a turf field, you need certain equipment. You can't go out there with the grass cutter.
Well,
you
it
know,
doesn't
there's
last
no-
forever either.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't last.
I mean, there's a lot of, you know, things to be talked about yet. I don't know if the ducks like turf
Hopefully
fields or
not.
not.
Hopefully get rid of the ducks.
They can't eat it, they will stay.
Yeah, it
all
was-
right, we're gonna move on, to our roll call.
Thank you.
Mr. Ballots.
Here.
Mr. Shields.
Here.
Mr. Bodine.
Here.
Mr. Brennan.
Here.
Mr. Foss.
Here.
Mr. Ingles.
Here.
President Lloyd.
Here.
Quorum.
Okay, comments by public speakers, avoiding references to personalities and personnel issues. We have first Mr. Andrew Bresnai, traffic issues on West Run Road. Mr. Bresnai, would you?
Council on pages 1, 2, 3, and 4 is what was presented by Mr. Bresnan. Right out of-
Anybody need a coffee? Yes, I have one. You all have a coffee? Okay. All right, I spoke previously to the meeting with somebody, and it pretty much screwed my thought process off a little bit, but I'm gonna still go ahead with what I had written, and then we can go from there. Thank you for allowing me to advocate the petitioners. As you observe the map, notice that the middle right indicated high weeds and hedges. Could the owner of 3539 West Front Road ask the Department of Power Works to clean them, clear them away? They extend south, which is up West Front Road, 200 feet, and start as high as 10 feet down to 4 feet. This stretch of road that runs parallel to 3539 obstructs vehicles from vision of the indicated parking for exiting and entering. If anyone would take a ride down West Front Road from Main Street and Burr Street, they would travel about a mile and be able to see York Street, which would exit to the right, and Castleville exit to the left. At this point is the beginning of stretch of road which leads approximately 800 feet to the parking lot that's on the map. Clearly marked at that area is an intersection sign, line with the thing in it, it's yellow and black, and recently installed a hidden driveway sign on utility poles. The two signs can indicate to any operating or motor vehicle to proceed with caution. Then when the parking is clearly visible to the motorists, they can proceed north on West Run Road without possibility of accident. I'd like to comment these signs are a step to a solution, but not all motorists obey these signs. There's an awful lot of traffic that comes along there in the morning time, the evening times, and all through the day. The speed limit sign, which is clearly marked 1,900 feet previous to this parking lot, is marked 25 miles an hour, and nobody obeys by that. Well, I shouldn't say nobody. What I mean to say is there's a good portion. If anybody would go up to that area anywhere between 3520, 3521, 3523, or 3539 and spend 15 minutes in the parking lot observing traffic, you will understand my concern for the people that actually live there, the residents. And it's not just the two apartment buildings which occupy 12 residents. It's the building to the right and houses to the right, and it's also the buildings previous where the hedges area are. To knock the hedges down would be a great solution because that would give visibility to our parkway. We were going to suggest possibly maybe 400 feet before the parkway, put a sign that says stop sign ahead, put a stop sign at the thing there, but there will be issues with the county about that. So there's a good possibility that that can't work. We're open to any suggestions that anybody might have as to how we could resolve this issue. I just have this all recorded and ready for anybody that can help out here. Like I said, I think one more thing, if I'm not mistaken, someone mentioned to me that they're going to have like a mirror. You know how sometimes they put mirrors on the telephone poles? That may help the traffic coming down and seeing if somebody's pulling out of our parking lot.
Mr. President, can I ask you a question? After looking at the map, I realized where this is, and this area with the high weeds, is that private property or?
Yes, that's it. That's, see, the 3520.
Yellow house on it?
The third, yes, there's a house and there's a, see, if you start at where the utility pole, where a blind curve is, and you would walk up about 200 feet, you'd be walking parallel to this guy's house, and this is this guy's house, and that's where his driveway
The
enters.
thing's for sale, isn't it?
It is.
Somebody wants to buy that.
It's empty. It's empty.
Someone bought it.
There's a guy, a gentleman I got up there, he signed his name there, he said he was from Florida, he came back and said he's probably gonna be leaving again. I don't even know if he was the right pool owner, but that was the gentleman who spoke with me, his name was Richard, I don't particularly make out his last name.
We'll see to it that at least Dave talks to that
Well,
gentleman.
I was up there and theoretically, the hedges are a little high, they're like 6 foot high, but I think Pat will tell you the same thing is, coming out of the apartment building, there's like a retaining wall that's probably 3.5 feet high. And there's a bend right there, even if he tears down the hedges, you're still not gonna be able to see that.
Well, it is a blind curve to a certain
It is a
extent,
blind
but
curve.
obviously the neighbors have a lot of concern there. That's a county road, though, is it not?
It is.
So we can only ask that they maybe put a reduced speed sign there or something.
I talked to Mr. Bresnan, we talked about this in our Monday morning meeting. I think Mr. Feisty's already put that sign up, correct, Bob? There's a sign up there, it just, Mr. Bresnan said just appeared.
Yes.
We
Yes,
talked
there is
about
a-
putting a hidden driveway sign,
Right.
and possibly a mirror. There is a pole across the street for a mirror. It would work okay. The hedgerow that he's talking about is probably a good 5 feet off of the roadway. I don't think that's gonna help a whole lot. And it's private property, we can't touch it, as we all know that. Mr. President, I asked about a stop sign on Western Road, the county will never agree to that. We tag a ton of cars on Western Road for street every day. And we catch, we I'd say typically between 45 and 50 miles an hour is it's pretty accurate. I'd say since the summertime, we probably tagged 200 cars in that stretch of roadway. So, is it slowing them down? No, because we still get them going 50 miles an hour every day. I
I
don't
know you're
know.
there though.
Oh, yeah, they
They're
know.
aware.
Yeah, they know. I talked to the neighbor who lives right there on the corner, Colleen, and she said she loves it.
We all do.
Well, I mean,
There's only, I mean,
so much we.
right, there's only so much we can do, but I think that mirror, getting that mirror, if you look at the end of the drive, end of their parking lot, that pole is like right across the street and up a little bit, it would probably work perfectly to help the situation.
Well, especially if there's a
Especially
hidden
at
driveway sign before you start coming around the bend,
Right.
and before you get to there, but, so we will take action that we can, Mr. Bresnahan, and I appreciate you coming prepared with drawings and signatures from the neighbors. You're very well prepared and very well presented, thank you.
Okay, thank
We
you.
will address it as best we
And
can.
I'm satisfied with what you spoke of, because, they earlier said they're gonna do so much. You can tell somebody not to do something, but that doesn't mean they're not gonna do it.
Right, thank you
Okay.
very much. Okay, we have Michael Titan.
I believe he's here.
Not here.
He may be coming in the next meeting.
Tobin is not Tobin. Okay, Mr. Hunt, Darrell Hunt.
You have on your handout, pages 7 through 7 through 11, handout that Darrell gave you this afternoon, that I would like to touch on for you this evening.
I don't know if council is aware of, Allegheny County has a task force for hoarding. It's been in existence since 2004, and it run under the Office of Behavioral Health and Lucille Underwood. We had a meeting with Emergency Advantage with her last week, and she brought out information on what we should do in case we find hoarding. She wanted to make our police, our fire, and our EMS aware, because they're the ones that go into these houses and see these people that are hoarding. I talked to Dave here before the meeting, and he has one case already, but he was calling the wrong people because no one ever informed him that there's such a task force in Allegheny County. They have a task force that consists of Human Services, Fire Marshals, Department of Aging, Code Enforcement, professional cleaning organizations, Red Cross, and numerous other agencies that assist them in getting that done. The second thing I want to talk about, I don't know if you've ever heard of 211. Everybody's heard of 911, 411, 611.
Is that on page 9 and 10 of your handout?
It's 211. What 211 is, it's fired by the United Way. It's similar to 911, it's nationally recognized. It concerns the human services for the community, and it's a resource to help the caller. It's available in 85% of the United States at this time. It's been in existence since 1997. They slacked off for a while, but now they're back up in full force. They're associated with 5,000 different agencies to help. So if we have someone that, say they have utility problems, can't pay their utility bills, and you call 211, where we try to find help by calling different agencies. Well, they have the people now that can help them. And not only will they help them with their utility bills, but they recognize that if they can't pay their utility bills, they may need help from the food pantry. They may need help in maintaining their home, as far as losing them in foreclosure and things like that. They're all professionally trained and certified people. They also help senior citizens do their taxes. Call 211, they'll send someone, guide you, someone in your area will do it for you. And they're a great assistance to the veterans with financial assistance, health insurance information, legal aid, and other things for them. And I just wanted to make council aware that we do have these resources. I mentioned it to Chief Campbell already, and I'm gonna meet with the fire department at their next chief meetings and bring them up to date on the 211 system. Anyone have any questions on anything?
I just have something on the hoarding. I think the problem is back on Mary's floor.
Well, that's the one I was talking about.
She's
Mr.
it's
Lloyd,
back.
Mr. Lloyd called me, so I went up there, saw it.
I was over the weekend.
Well, here's what, and here's,
Her porch, side porch.
so I went and I saw her car was like that, her
Yeah.
thing was like, and I looked inside her house, it was the same thing. She wasn't home, so I called, Allegheny County Housing Agent.
Well, they have a file on her.
Right,
Health
it was,
department.
they actually,
Health department.
yeah, health department, that's who I called, and, yeah, they spent $18,000 on her case.
Right.
So I called them, and what they did was send her a form letter saying that she has till December, I think, 5th to clean up.
So that's not
And
good.
that's what he told me about this department. I said,
And
I never even knew about this department.
And then what
We've
happens,
been-
December
we've been
5th?
calling
December
the
5th, they came
county.
to Madison.
Social services has been called time and time
Right.
again on
Yes.
that case, and they did nothing.
Right.
Apparently, the county needs to tell the other county people that they have a department to deal with this.
Right.
Because they don't even know
Is the
that they
road
have
problem
it.
back there?
That's a shame,
We didn't see any
honestly.
roads.
It's great that they have it, but if they don't know they have it,
Right.
make a referral.
Right.
I mean, they've just been
Well,
giving us
well,
lip
They
service.
walked away from it, they didn't check up on her. They said they were gonna check up on her every 6 months.
Correct.
They walked
I
away.
called a year and a half ago on her, you know, just, hey, she might need to look at, because I saw her feeding the rats like last summer. And they said they sent a social worker out.
No, the neighbor told me they think she's sleeping on the porch.
In the
I don't
summer.
know.
In the summer she was.
Yep.
I don't know about now. Sometimes she does sleep in the park.
Try calling that 311 day guy.
What?
No, I didn't call.
You sleeping up there?
Anyway,
The
you know.
Department of Human Services sent out a news release in, 2000, June of 2014 on it. And apparently a lot of people didn't see it, and, this is why I brought the council, maybe we can make light of the 211 as well as the hoarding issue.
It's a help. Thank you for bringing it to our attention.
Yeah, I got that motion, man, we learned something anyhow.
We'll put what we can up on the website so people know the resources are
Stay on
there.
the
Thanks,
Mary
Darryl.
Street.
Thanks, Joe.
We have several people like that in my hall, you know.
Oh, yeah. You'll see her carrying stuff down too. Carrying stuff down the street, she starts.
Okay, we're gonna move on to, new business.
A few items to bring to your attention. We did receive the state aid for Act 205 for the 2014 police and non-uniform pension funds, roughly in the amount of $254,000. We do need to distribute those in both funds by the end of this year, so I wanted you to be aware of that. It'll come out of our general fund. We did contract with Bookminders of Pittsburgh, who authorized me to do that at the last meeting. We have our first meeting with them tomorrow. Again, they will be working as our retained, contracted bookkeeper to handle the QuickBooks and to handle all the payments that we need to make, as well as to manage the payroll. So that will actually officially start tomorrow. I did submit on behalf of Munhall, West Homestead, and Homestead, the multi-municipal comprehensive plan, submitted it to the local government academy for funding consideration. That would be up to $8,500 per municipality, so we're looking at roughly $24,000. I did submit it on behalf of all three municipalities under the banner of Munhall. Our next plan is to prepare an application to Allegheny Places, as well as to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development for matching dollars, and that probably will not evolve until late spring of next year. So that is the plan among the three municipalities. The Ad hoc Vacant Property Committee, we had met for the fourth time last evening. The last two meetings were pretty exciting. 2 meetings ago, we had nearly 20 people there, many developers and investors. The meeting last evening involved talking about some legal procedures, as well as the different means to exonerate or to reduce delinquent taxes on vacant properties to allow them to be marketed. So we'll We have not scheduled another meeting, perhaps will be sometime in December. We did get another inquiry today from a real estate developer that is interested in a number of our vacant properties. I'll be following up with him tomorrow. So, starting to snowball, Dan.
Yeah, well, I just want to make a few comments. The interest level is very high. What we're trying to do is to try to streamline the process because we have all this excess property, vacant property, tax delinquent vacant property, and investors are out there and they want to buy it. And we think that the best method of getting this property back on the tax rolls is to bring the private market to bear. Many of the people that were there were people that wanted maybe just to buy the property next door. Others were small developers that wanted to buy a couple and flip them. There were a couple of big developers there that own quite a number of properties now that it was encouraging to me that they have rental property and they have enough rentals and they're looking to buy and flip rather than to buy and hold. That's good for us if people come and they own their homes in the community. Of special interest, Monday night at our last meeting was we had representatives, the attorneys for legal tax service. They're willing to do workouts on this. We're willing to have people buy property that has tax delinquencies and work out and negotiate what we'll accept as far as the taxes, and even let the new owners assume some of the tax debt. So those were all workable things, and we are picking up steam and couldn't be happier with the progress.
Great.
And this may end up being a model for what communities can do to get property back on the tax rolls, and we certainly hope that it will.
Good idea.
Thank you. Next item, for your information, the Regional Uniform Construction Code Appeals Board, at the last meeting, authorized to advertise the ordinance, which is being advertised with a copy in the office. Our meeting next Wednesday will be on the agenda to take a vote on that. You have it on page 12 and 13 of your handout, which is a very brief ordinance. Social media policy for employees and volunteers. We will certainly address that, as we also discussed the website we designed in the early part of 2015. We do need to develop that policy, as you heard me talk about in the past. I haven't been able to tackle that yet, but we need to certainly get that off during the first couple months of 2015.
Is there any for instances that you might bring up while on that social media?
Not at the moment, but we may have some case examples.
Well, like I gave you our social
You had,
media
yeah,
policy.
we had yours. We're collecting different templates.
That was a template from the Chiefs of Police Association. We made a few tweaks to it. We're okay with Greg prior to, so Greg's aware of it. He just started one.
Yeah, it's in my social media folder.
I happened to get something just the other day on social media policy, which was a warning to employers to watch, be very careful on how you limit or attempt to limit somebody's speech,
Right.
because it's come back to bite a lot of people too, so
You
it's.
can- But when you can't, if it's referring to their position, you know, if they're speaking from their official position, you can do that. As a private citizen, tread lightly.
Next item, just for your information, next Friday, the 21st, will be in our third meeting negotiations with the Teamsters 205. We currently have discussions with the police on their healthcare plan for 2015. The other item I have, and you have on your handout, the last couple pages, 14 through 16, we will have to appoint and or reappoint delegates to the Allegheny County Southwest Tax Collection District, to which Munhall is part of, along with 40-some other municipalities in this part of the county, relative to the collection and the reporting of their earned income taxes. So we do need to make those appointments at the next meeting. You have in your handout that Donna Dressman sent a note, like to be reconsidered as an alternate for that committee, which she currently serves at.
I was just gonna say that, Don, I thought Donna Dressman was on there.
Yeah, her term's up at the end of this year, but we do have to appoint or reappoint until the end of the year.
How have those meetings been going, Donna?
Very well,
I know you've been going to them.
yeah. They've been very well. The last meeting, we had to wait an extra 15 minutes to have a quorum. Because if you don't have a certain amount, you can't have it.
Yeah.
Everything's, you know, Melo Brugo's doing a good job along with Jordan.
Good.
Believe me, I give one guy from Jordan a run for his money. I got a couple of accountants that call me about entering numbers and different things.
Have we been noticing any rise in the amount of money, you know, are we getting more money now than we did in the past prior to this?
Actually, the first
year that
first
was.
year, it was up considerably, and it doesn't seem to be up considerably from that at this time.
I think we're ahead of what your budget number was.
That's good.
I think we're ahead of it, yes.
And we did forecast about a 20% increase.
Next item, just for your announcement, the Civil Service Commission will be meeting on November 25th at 7 o'clock in this room to begin addressing the police pension hearing issue. And lastly, on my agenda, the 2015 preliminary budget. I'm certainly behind at the moment, but hopefully in the next couple of weeks, I'll have a preliminary budget presented. Understand that we do have to have that available for the public for at least 10 days before it's adopted. I was hoping we wouldn't get into the Christmas holidays, but we certainly may get close to that. So we'll be doing some horse trading over the next few weeks.
Bob, can you reiterate number one again, what you're actually doing there?
Number one, we receive state funds to assist us in our funding of our pension plan for both police and non-uniform. For 2014, we received $254,000. It's currently in our general fund, but that has to be poured into the two pension plans. And we have to do that before the end of the year. I have to determine how much goes into police and how much goes into the non-uniform based upon the MMOs and the percentage and the distributions to make it equitable.
Thank you.
So it's currently in our general fund, but it's gotta come out, so that's $250,000 to come out.
I did also want to report, it's not new business, but I did want to report that we did meet with our auditor, Mark Tarley, on Monday evening to discuss the 2013 audit, which was given to us in preliminary form to review. We did review that with him in person. We're tweaking that and hoping that before before mid-December that we will have an audit that is a non-qualified audit report for 2013. We certainly hope that we can get there. We're pretty close. He had some questions on a few things, and they are being addressed. Many of them have already been addressed by him and by our accountant as well. So that's going well. So we hopefully by the end of the year we'll have completed our 11, 12, and 13 audits. Amen. Anybody else with things to discuss?
Yeah,
Harvey.
yeah, Mayor, remember I called you the other day about that
Yes, you did.
thing with Woodhill? Did you, I mean,
I talked to the chief. Our people have been going up there.
I'm just telling you what I was told.
Yeah.
It's locked every night
It's
at 9
locked
o'clock.
every night.
I'm
And,
just,
you know, people are walking in with their pizza and their beer, you know, and walking around. And there's 4 ways to get through the night.
okay,
So, the police have their eye on it.
okay. I mean, so
It's
it's being locked.
It's being locked every
No,
night at 9
do we-
9
9
p.m.
o'clock.
I know it's winter time, I mean, it's getting dark early, when we lock it earlier.
Sign says 9 o'clock. You can change it for winter hours, you gotta put a sign up. Sign says park closes at 9 p.m.
We could do that,
Winter hours should make it 6.
All right,
we could do that.
not doing that.
Well, if we do one park, we should do them all that time, though. I just wouldn't, just do it, what else would we change it?
Wood is the only one we actually physically lock up to.
Change what we are saying.
Change them all, we change one, change drop, change.
We don't close it, it's keep up now.
Well, let's get a consensus from that committee on what we wanna do,
That's recreation. We have a meeting next Tuesday, recreation committee meeting again,
What time is that, Rob?
6:30. We advertise at 6:30, right?
Tuesday, right?
I think we
It's 6:30, yeah.
We also, you should have seen an invitation from Bob to the school board members as well as each of us to talk about, again, potentially leasing the Woodlawn property for use as a park. It looks like interest has waned as far as them wanting to purchase the number 3 fire hall. And if we can get a definite consensus from them Tuesday evening, and that's at 6, so
That's at
hopefully,
6.
yeah.
That was that issue, that was over, they weren't
Well,
any parts.
I would like to know for sure that it's that issue, and we can put that building up for sale.
I don't think it's completely at that issue,
No?
because, in order to the school director, I've talked to them, and, I was told by the top dogs that, they don't feel the building is the right thing. And, but again, as one or two of the school directors told me, well, we're talking about it.
Okay, we can talk
Well,
about it.
we have a couple school directors that are gonna come to the meeting, and I think it's important that we open that dialogue between them and us, especially when we're gonna talk about community development and rebuilding communities, and, part of that strategy, and I think is recognized by Mr. Campbell and Mr. Batch, is to have recreational facilities.
That's exactly it.
And so we're looking at that on several fronts, and obviously, the Woodlawn property is something that we had a consensus on, at one point on this council to add recreational facilities there. So, I'd like to clear the air on that.
The fire hall, maybe it's something we ought to hold off on for a while, just for the reason if, when work does start back here, we might need extra room for our street department people. And that might be an alternative site for them to go to, in the interim, because if we start, if we do this, and it's gonna happen, from what I've been told, it's a definite. We're gonna have a lot of construction vehicles here. Vern, you've been on construction sites, you know how much room they take. And it might be a little bit tough for, say, the garbage trucks to get in and out of there, or not to them, something else.
I would hope we could open the gate and put the construction vehicles on the field.
Well, we'll
also
see.
Parking down in the back.
Because
There's not certainly a rush
Yeah.
at this point to sell the building, but we do
Just something to
want
think about, just think about, then, once we're sure we don't need it, get it out on the open market.
Good point.
One thing I would like to mention, remind me that next, I think it's Tuesday morning, I'll be attending a Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and Natural Resources workshop regarding the next funding round for recreation. I'm gonna advocate that council consider doing a master comprehensive park and recreation plan for our different parks, to get some money for that. If we're successful, it will probably be about a year from now. But we should have a master plan for our parks and recreation areas, plus those yet to be developed. So I'm gonna be attending that next Tuesday morning. In relation to the west field, hopefully you let me involved in that, so I can at least
Would you,
get some word out, or at least put stuff on the website,
Would
as
you-
well as to review their plans.
I wouldn't get you that, would you prefer to veto though, would you want us to move that meeting, or? Would it be too much of a school board thing here too?
No, I didn't mean it in
Oh,
relation to that,
okay.
I meant with the batch plan and the
Oh.
Campbell plan.
Yeah, we'll find out more on that next Tuesday, I mean, we just got this.
The school board, we
Yeah, we
provided to
just-
come here,
Yeah,
so.
Sort of said, hey, it's gonna happen,
so it sounds like 2015 that they're ready to move.
Yes.
This next year, not 2 years, 3 years from now.
Talking about general
Next year.
contractors already, and it's
No,
gonna go.
I think this is somewhere where our, hopefully our recreation board, our citizens recreation board that we're looking to, can be a help with this too.
Well,
But the devil's always in the details, I like
You
to
got
say.
that right.
the newly formed Three Boroughs Group, or rejuvenated Three Boroughs Group, which is a 501c3 nonprofit in Homestead, and it has members from Homestead, West Homestead, and Munhall. That group is seeking funding, and they're developing plans for a linear park between the railroad tracks to go from Amity Street over to the pump house. They didn't talk to me about it, but the second link in that happens to be the JA site that we've been, in negotiations on. And there's an easement that's part of that property that actually would take them from their linear park over to the pump house through Munhall. And hopefully, if things go well there, that can be incorporated into something that we do upon acquisition of that land. And Greg continues to work on a number of covenants in the deed before that can move forward. It's somewhat complex, but I think workable. And the nice thing about that is there is money in the that the COG has as part of the environmental impact money that they got in a grant, and there's also planning money in there as well. So that can all be rolled in with the plans that the group has for a linear park. So we're hoping that all comes together before the end of the year as well. So the COG is ready to move with KU Resources to do the phase 2, and we've asked the owners if we could get on the property at this point, even though we don't own it, to get the phase 2 done. So we'll see where that goes, but that's all promising stuff for Parks and Recreation. Anything else?
Yeah, let me, a couple announcements. A lot of things happen. We're really, glad to be, things are coming up like they are. These couple things I heard tonight really encourages me. Let's get going, I'm in a hurry, I guess. But Veterans Day tomorrow is at the Park Elementary at 9 a.m. The kids have their program. You're all invited along with the public, and it's a great service. Naturally, Barrett had theirs yesterday, and last Friday, the borough, or the school district, and the Veterans Day Committee had theirs last Friday, which was an excellent program. But you're all invited to attend tomorrow, veteran or non-veteran, come and see the kids. And light up night, gentlemen, start digging into your pockets, because it's time to get the Christmas stuff together. Vicey, I'm gonna be hacking on you for a while, so we have to get what we need together once again to have our light up nights, which is on Friday, December 5th at 6 o'clock. And it'll be as nice as it ever was. It'll want our building to look as nice as it ever was. One question I have, did we, Bob, I remember you mentioned at the flyover, that growth down there, did we ever do anything with that?
We did approach a couple landscape, commercial landscape, I didn't get any quotes on them. Again, that was in the middle of the summer, we were pretty busy. We could ask them now when maybe they're not so busy to give us something.
Because I think like the enterprise zone is interested in that portion of it, but that go as it is. Last item, Pat, this is basically, this crosswalk over here at the driveway of 18th. Any day that I go by there that some poor sucker is trying to get across the street. And 3 minutes today, I sat there watching every car in both directions going right through that. You can't see nothing but a big yellow X up in front of you, and it tells you, you know, allow for the pedestrians and so on and so forth. People just, it don't mean anything to them. And I guess we just gotta set somebody up here and, start issuing a couple state citations and so on and so forth, because a person stand there trying to cross the street, and it was 3 minutes today I watched, both directions. They drive right through it, I mean, I don't give a damn.
Ray, can I talk to you about that?
Yeah.
I was in Florida last week. They have crosswalks all through like that.
Yeah.
They have a button where you press a button and there's actually lights that flash and they make the people stop.
That
Has buttons.
That happens all the
They
time.
press a button and the lights flash?
Yes, buttons.
I've never seen the lights flash.
People don't know how to drive, that's the
put in
bottom
for-
part, they
for
drive right through it, I don't know what the hell
Bar
that is.
associations
Yeah.
over there.
So the lights are there.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Never
that's-
seen them flash.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's, I mean, you, anyone knows they're leaving here like 5, 6 o'clock, I mean, anywhere from 4 to 6. You can't pull out of this building, it takes you 5 minutes to pull out of Main Street.
Right. I never knew they flashed there.
Oh, yeah, you can come down around and just watch, and I mean, not one human being.
Wow.
In the past, I have saw 1 or 2 stop. But today, there must have been 40 cars went through there going, gee, I wonder what that means.
Ray, that happened to me the other day. I was on my way to work, and when I got down that way, I saw the lights flashing, so I stopped. There was a little boy that wanted to cross the street.
Right.
I sat there and I backed the traffic from there past there, and the guy who was behind me had somebody in the car, and they were gonna yell at me till they noticed there was somebody waiting to stop, to cross. And then all these cars kept going, the lights were flashing.
Yes.
Wow.
Finally, there was nobody there, so the little boy crossed. But he would have been standing there. And a few years back, a friend of mine, before things got real involved over there, he lost his eyesight. And he was blind in vision, but before he lost it completely, he was trying to cross the street one day, and I know for a fact he marched up here to the borough building, and I don't know if he went to the police station or went to the borough office and complained about that.
Well, a couple of years ago, I'm sure we all heard my story about 2 years ago when it first was originated up there. A blind man came in tonight with a cane and all. He actually got brushed by a car. He was shaken, and I was shaken too after, you know, I saw what happened. But, I mean, I don't know if people don't know what the hell it means. I mean, it's a big yellow X and it's flashing off and on, red lights flying, and they're going right through there. Happy days are here. Jesus Christmas.
Mayor, I remember, it was last year, the year before, that the police put that sting operation in. Maybe it's time to do that
I
again.
was sitting in the driveway, but that was mostly for our 45, 50 mile an hour speeders.
Well, no, that was where someone was there pressing the button, she was ready to cross, and if the cars didn't stop, the officers were right here, pulled them in. I happened to be one that stopped.
We have to, somehow we've got to enforce that.
I was lucky. They got me.
school zone too, there's people that don't pay attention to that.
I just can't believe you can see a big yellow X in front of me and not know what the hell it is.
Well, Mayor, take care of it.
Another sting.
He just did,
Power, baby.
he just did.
I just did, you got my message.
Okay, anything else? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second? Second by Mr. Shields. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion is unanimous.
That's good.
Hey, Chief, don't forget next Tuesday.
I told you yesterday, I want my.
I'm gonna keep reminding you, man. Hey, Rob.
I'll be there.